Welcome back to another ep. Today we have our dear friend Finn Hutchison on the pod.
The king!
Yeah, very excited to talk to you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Another thing to point out is we've actually leveled up in the game, as you can see, with the mics, wherever they are. So hopefully the audio's good, but we're just getting used to that too. But yeah, we got Hutchison on. So how we know Finn is through me, actually, initially, is we started working together. Well, we both worked at Macca's from when I was 14. When did you start at Macca's?
I started pretty late in the grand scheme of things. I was like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
like year 10 or 11. But yeah.
Yeah, so you're a year older than us. So you started like definitely quite late, and that was at Forest Way. Anyway, our paths sort of linked up, and then we worked together for a long time at Warriewood, and then obviously me and Josh.
Glory days.
Yeah, yes, sir. And then like these two met quite recently. Like
I would say year and a half.
Not 2 years. You guys haven't known each other for 2 years.
Over a year.
Yeah,
well
okay,
over a year.
yeah.
But I definitely I knew of you. Like there were, I don't know, greatness is known amongst Macca's. I knew your name. You knew mine.
Of course. Yeah.
Clearly.
They've got that board in the office, with the...
Just with your name up there.
Dude, never got on that.
There's that statue. It looks a lot like you, so it's just weird.
Yeah, no, I always knew of you. And then obviously Kyle spoke like very highly of you. And I feel like Kyle and I are at a point where anything in life, whether it's friends or just an activity, if like I like it, Kyle's gonna like it. And it can almost be the case of like, dude, you have to meet this guy, you're going to love him.
Yes.
And without fail, like, it
100%
works. So
right,
Kyle was obviously talking you up so much. And then we met. I can't remember the first time we met.
I think it was... Yeah. You guys are training for the try, I think.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, which is like drastic to think how far, because you were like, we'll get into training, which I want to talk to you about. But your training was like very much like bodybuilding.
It was just hypertrophy,
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah,
Just like look good was
build
my...
the physique,
Yeah.
And then it's sort of shifted now, right? You're a bit more functional, like getting into a bit more endurance sort of training.
100%. It's interesting because Kyle started it off for me. Working out in the gym is great, and like looking good is awesome. You want to look your best, but
There's just a difference when you start. Like, there's like gym is like the initial, like, at least for me, well, obviously I think for all of us, the initial thing was like going to the gym. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna lift weights, get jacked, lift a lot of weight, and like that's fun. But there is a clear distinction between like you actually doing some endurance stuff versus weights. It's just like, I think the biggest thing is the why. Like you start to answer the question why. It's like, why am I actually out here? Why are you out here? Like legit.
Dead set. And my perceived definition of health in my mind was like how you look, purely based on that. And in just genetically, I'd finished school and I was abusing the free McDonald's. Like, oh my god, racking it up, dude. But I thought I looked good at the time or whatever, and being jacked was just like, I was jacked because I was going to the gym heaps, but I was also eating in a massive calorie surplus, and it was like hotcakes and hash browns every.
Dude, I was about to say, like, you saying free Macca's, it's not like you were just like, oh, I'll just get I'll just use the Angus meat or whatever. It's like, dude, you were railing hotcakes with hash, bacon,
dude, serious.
As bad as you can
sauce
get.
patties,
sauce patties, the 250 calorie sauce patties.
Literally,
so crazy.
It's fucked. And I don't know, I thought I looked good, and that must have just been genetics. It's fucking miracle that I wasn't I don't know,
Morbidly obese.
Yeah, well, dead set. And zilch cardio as well. But then when I think it started out when I met you, we went for a swim or whatever, and I was not keen on swimming at all.
But you were open-minded to it. What do you think that was? Do you think it was just knowing Kyle and having that relationship with him and him saying, dude, you have to do this, meet this guy?
Yeah.
Or were you starting at that point to be like, oh, maybe just lifting weights isn't my thing. I want to do more.
I think it was probably the first one you said. So just, oh yeah, come meet this guy, let's go for a swim. I was like, sweet. Could be potentially a regular thing because I trust Kyle's word as well. But then from that, hearing you guys doing the try, I think Kyle and I must have gone for a run or something like that. And then it was oh, let's do a marathon. And then when you have that goal in sight, instead of day in and day out, oh, looking good, I'm jacked, Sweet.
Because it's what is looking good, right? Like
Yeah.
a marathon is a very specific, like it's a tangible thing. It's like you've run 42.195 Ks, whatever it is exactly. But like if your goal is to look good,
What is that?
what is looking good, right? There's no.
And that's because I was trying to look good because I thought that was healthy. That was like my perceived definition or whatever of health.
At the same time, it's like, I'm sure like the couch potato, it's like they can benefit from going to the gym and getting jacked.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, if I didn't go to the gym, I wouldn't have like been like, oh, let's run, let's this, that, let's that. It's just like, it is a segue into it.
But
Yeah,
it is the motive behind it. Like the why is so important because for you, like wanting to look good, like why did you want to look good?
That was my like,
That's
and
what you
I've
thought.
come to realize that through endurance training, because we've run one marathon now and we're training for September, which is what, like,
Coming up.
3 months away.
yeah, like
Not less.
15 weeks maybe.
Is it 15?
I think it's 13 weeks actually.
No, it's definitely
12.
less than.
I'd
July,
say less
August,
than 3
September,
months.
8 weeks.
No, but it's July.
Is it?
When? What
Nah,
in September?
nah.
September what?
Like mid. I think it's
so
I think
you have
It's
10
11 weeks. Yeah, it's like 11, 10 weeks.
So about 3 months.
Yeah.
it's 8.
Yeah.
But like through endurance training, like when I finished school, I'd be, like I said, eating in calorie surplus and like trying to look big and look good, and then that was like my personality. I sucked balls at like social interaction,
Right.
dude, and like I've come to realize this so much now. It's like through like being jacked was like to cover my insecurities, which I feel like happens a lot in the fitness industry. Like people can take it to an extremity and go to steroids and stuff like that, but I was, didn't go down that path or whatever. Although there is performance benefits in that, but through endurance training, it was like I loved and I found solace in watching my body change and like watching how I could push myself in new manners, because gym and getting jacked was just a comfort zone.
Definitely.
What's sick about endurance stuff is like, I think Cam Hanes talks about it a lot. Cam Hanes, sorry, he talks about how like he fell in love with that sort of stuff, like with his bow hunting and running, is because he was like, I'm actually going to try and find my limit. And I feel like in the gym, like, yes, you're lifting weights, but it's like, you're not really, yes, you're pushing limits in terms of lifting weight, but it doesn't feel like a limit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not pushing your body to the extreme.
Yeah.
Well, it's more the mental.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
gym.
yeah.
Like endurance, you're doing everything, and there definitely is that in weights for sure, because
100%.
like
yeah.
going for PRs and stuff like that, and even just learning a new move. It's really how you approach the gym. Like if you're like wanting to learn new skills, and like I guess you're operating on like more calisthenic side of things, like trying to learn handstands or stuff like that. Like there's a clear progressive path, muscle ups, etc. But if it's like I want to deadlift 200, there is like it's almost parallel with endurance in that like you're starting at a baseline, whatever that is, and then it's like the clear build up, and you need to be intentional. You have to be like purposeful and smart, and like how you go on that process to get to the 200 kilo deadlift. And it is hard. Like it is hard because I think the thing in the gym, the progress is so slow with weights. Like moving your PR up and up and up is such a slow thing. Like it'll rapidly go at the start, and then it's just a grind. It's
Yeah, it sort of plateaus. I like I don't know, in terms of endurance training with like finding your limits, it's like it's the amount of time under tension, which is like a big thing talked about in the gym, but like the time under tension when you're running a marathon is fucking 4 hours. Like it's like, oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you go, but
No, definitely.
it's just there's so many like
Ups and downs.
ups and downs along the whole thing.
And like you were saying, it speaks to the mental. Like it speaks to the mental more than, and that's what's so addictive. It's like you conquer one thing, you're like, I want to do that better, or like you just want to climb that next hill. It's just so, that's the addictive part.
Yeah, well, like I'm pretty sure like in an hour and a half gym session, the average like time spent lifting weights is like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Which when you think about that, that's really not a long time,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like 11 minutes of work. If you went for an 11-minute run, that's like, I guess for us, like that's minimal. That's barely anything.
It's like 2Ks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 2.5K.
Yeah.
Not much there at all, right? So it's just completely different fields, completely different sports, and that's where time under tension, that's where the mental side is. Like that is where your mind, because like the longer you're doing anything, the harder it is. Like the longer you're staying in anything, it's like torture. I think it's called like the Chinese drip method.
I've heard of this. I think you've spoken to me about
Yeah,
this.
so it's like physically easy, I guess, if you look at it from a torture perspective. But what they do is like strap you down or tie you down and just have a water drip that drips onto your face at like there's no rhythm to it as well, because like if you find rhythm, you can like make it easy, I guess, for yourself. But yeah, it's an irregular drip. You don't know when it's coming, and it just drips on you, just keeps dripping on you, and it's like that's time under tension. You can't move out of the way of the drip. You're just forcibly sitting there, and this thing's just hitting your face. Damn. And like that's how they break people. And that's where it is. It's like that time under tension. So when it comes to mental growth, like endurance, in my opinion, is the best thing. Yeah. Like physical activity wise that you can do.
I could definitely like speak to that and agree with that now.
Yeah. And like on that, I'm sure like you've all had experiences, but there's been moments where I've been running, riding, and I'm so like exhausted, and I'll just start bawling my eyes out. Like all these thoughts come up of like insecurities, things that I'm struggling with, like things that I've sort of put on the back burner and I'm not really like focusing on. And they just forcefully come up, and I just bawl my eyes. I'm running just like,
because you're at the like point of like heightened emotion, and you're like bent, and your mind is like just.
You're so vulnerable.
Yeah, your brain has no room to like put the walls up. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're just gonna have to knock these down because I need space to get over like what you're doing at the moment.
And that's the beautiful thing. Like you come back from a run, and it can genuinely be therapeutic in the sense of, like you've just worked through this issue that like you wouldn't have otherwise. Whereas in the gym, there is not one point where like I've cried in the gym. I felt like all this emotion because it's just so easy. Like again, like 11 minutes, an hour and a half. Like you're not working super duper hard mentally.
And I think like we're definitely talking about it if you're looking at gym as like a hypertrophy thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas like if you go strongman and stuff like that, it's like that's
and even hit like that's a completely different ballpark. Like
100%.
that, because that in itself is so like mentally exhausting and just physically exhausting. So like there is that side of it. But yeah, we're talking
8 to 10 reps.
Yeah. We're talking Monday chest day, international chest day. Like
I did some arms on Friday. You know.
Arms training. Dude, dead set. Yeah, so Friday arms.
Like you spoke before saying socially, I guess you were quite like sheltered and a bit of an introvert. Like where do you think that sort of like came about, and what was like the biggest key point in your life that changed that?
I think I felt a lot of it coming out of high school, and being in high school, because high school is like, I don't know, like I don't really think, like I found myself after high school. High school was just, I don't know, another block in another.
Just a chapter.
You know? It was just a chapter, but like it was great. But and obviously I met my long-term partner in high school, so like.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's a big chapter in my life. But like, I definitely look at it like it happened, and there were some good things I can take out of it. But I definitely found myself after high school. I think the introvertedness came from wanting to be a part of, like, there was this huge group in high school that like dominated the year, and like I wanted to be a part of that so bad, but like I just, anytime, instead of being myself, I'd try and be not someone else, but like I would be a heightened version of myself, or like I wouldn't be true to myself. And I think
you compromise yourself.
Yeah, and like the sense of self, when you have a strong sense of self, you can talk to anyone, because like you don't care if they are like, oh, fuck this guy or whatever.
Because the agenda's different, right? Like when the agenda and the goal is to fit in, then like you can fail at that. You can fail at fitting in. But when the agenda is to be yourself, like,
how can you mess that up?
If you are being yourself, you can't fail. So it's like, that's why we can talk to anyone, because I'm not trying to fit in with someone. I'm just trying to be myself, and I have complete control over that.
Yeah.
But when the agenda is like, oh, I really want to be in this popular group in school, like whatever it is, like you can fail at that, because you might not gel with them. It's going to be the case. And like, again, like the more you try to force things, like the more resistance there's going to be in life. So like the authenticity side of things is the best. And like for me, I was like very much sheltered. Like I had a lot of anxiety when I was younger. Like in primary school, I developed a tic. Like I would wink like this.
Wow.
Like, and I wasn't aware that I was doing it. And it was like constant. Like, and I remember in school, one of my friends, a girl in my year just said like, why are you winking at me? Stop winking at me. And like, I had no idea that I was doing it. I was in year 3.
It would have broken you.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's like, oh my goodness.
What are you thinking at that point? Like, cause you're like 10.
Yeah.
So you're like, what's wrong with me? Or like...
Yeah, well, it's just like, I don't know I'm doing it. Like,
yeah, we're just confused, I guess.
yeah, like,
what's she talking about?
yeah, what are you saying? And it's like the reaction from them, like, oh, like I'm the weird guy. And my best friend in primary school, Sam Baker, like I absolutely love this guy. And I just remember like going to school and mum was there, like mum walked me in, I was in year 3 or whatever. And then he just looks at mum and goes like, don't worry, like I'll take care of him.
Like, that literally gives me chills.
Yes.
Like,
To have a friend like that, and like I'd love him to death still to this day, like we talk. And he's just such a good, genuine person. His heart is so like warm and full of love. And to like say that at such a young age is so beautiful.
I was gonna say he said that in year 3.
yeah.
I would have never had that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. See you, dude.
yeah, you're the weird guy.
Yeah, so like it went from that to then like that kind of faded away. Like saw all these different doctors and they were like labeling it as Tourette's and stuff. That went away, and then in year 4, I started getting this thing where like I couldn't breathe. It was like almost an asthma attack, but not an asthma attack. Like it was essentially asthma.
Yeah.
And it would just come on like boom, like that, and I just couldn't breathe, and I was like hospitalized, and I was in and out of hospital for like months and months. And they just had no idea. They were trying like all these different, like they thought it was like food allergies. They did like the allergy test where they prick like you like 50 times on your arm with like different like cat, MSG, like all these different things.
Nuts and shit.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
And then they were literally just like trial and error. Like, don't have this. I was on all these different diets for so long. And then like this is months and months. And like looking back, like it was a great time for me to grow, and mum helped me through that heaps. But I just feel bad for my parents, like, because I was so young, I didn't really know what was going on. It was just the norm for me. But like mum seeing that, like the stress of running around to all these different places, like just such a grind. And then I remember we went to this psychologist one day, and she just like looked at mum and was like, I'm so sorry. Like I'm so sorry for all these doctors that have just been like telling you it's this, telling you it's that. Like your son just like is so anxious, like he just has anxiety. And like we didn't like, I guess they sort of found a root cause, like being like a school teacher and just like the pressure I felt and like put on myself, I guess. Whether it was that or not, like I don't really know. But yeah, it was just like all this anxiety and all this stress, and like because my thing was fitting in. Like I was so afraid to like not fit in. I had to have the cool clothes, like the thought of not having it, like it was, I remember being in the shop sometimes and it was just like I would bawl my eyes out like, Mom, I have to have this, like I can't not. Like, it was just, I was so scared to not have it. And like as I grew up, I carried that, and then it was like 14 years old when I worked, mum applied like me for Macca's, got the job, and it was there that like everything changed. So it was like it was like the first year, 6 months, everything changed for me, because like you're thrown into the deep end. Like for a kid that was so anxious, afraid to talk to anyone, like my job was to serve a customer on a register. Like
I can't even talk to my friends.
I have to do this. I have to serve them. And part of me desired that. Like I remember saying to Cheryl, like when she hired me, she said like front or back, and I said I want to be out front because I like want to be more confident. So like worked out front.
What drove you to say that? Because like all I'm hearing is like VZ would have been like, I need to be in the kitchen. What like in your mind was like, I need to be out front?
Yeah, it was the like mum was probably the biggest factor of like, she would always tell me like, you don't have to be like this, like these thoughts all in your head, like it's not real. Like most people don't even notice you. Like that's just the reality. Most people walking by like aren't even looking at you, so don't care about what like they think. And it was just this desire. I think I knew that I was like just enslaved to that, and I was living like by the bounds of like anxiety and wanting to fit in for so long that I just wanted that liberation. I wanted that freedom. Even though I like hadn't really tasted it, I just knew it wasn't what I was experiencing. I knew like it had to be better. So I think that was the driving factor. And then it was beautiful because like you have these two opposing forces of like anxiety and then work ethic. And for me, like I've always been a grinder. Like I've always loved to like put out my best product, and like I take pride in that. So it was like the anxiety of like not wanting to speak to people, but then my work ethic, and it trumped it. Like that's nice. Where Macca's was for me. It was like I could have just been in the red shirt, done my thing, like just got my job done, and that's it. But like the work ethic was like, no, I need to be better than everyone. Like I have to be better, and I love this job. So that's where the grind came in, and like progressing like cafe, CT, cross train, all of that stuff. And then from there, it was just like off to the races. it was like, oh, like I can lead, I can talk to people, and like they're not saying anything, I don't feel like I need to fit in anymore. And it was like a really cool, like a slow burn, but sort of rapid at the same time, where I just went from like introvert full of anxiety to just like super confident and like wanting to talk to people.
You know who needs to hear that is like a lot of parents. A lot of parents need to hear that, because sometimes like mum or whoever, like an adult, will be talking about like their kids, and like, oh, like it's like I'm like, yeah, you should actually definitely get your kid to work at McDonald's. Like I would encourage anyone, like I don't care like what you've been through, what you haven't been through, it's like work at McDonald's. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like fact.
Yeah, you're the
that I worked at
embodiment
McDonald's.
of like
Yeah.
why working at McDonald's is so good and why people recommend it. Like this is why.
Yeah, like, and I was like, you have to do it. And then people go, correct. And people say that they have, like, they're like, oh, they don't get enough money though. Like, they don't pay you much. I'm like, man, if you're trying to put your kid in a job so that they can earn like $3 more an hour, it's like, no. If I'm a parent, it's like my kid is working at a job so they can learn work ethic. They can learn accountability, discipline.
Social
outside
skills.
of the house. Outside of the house, because you can teach that in the house, but then you're sheltering them too much. It's like you need your kid to go out in the wild and like experience those same lessons, but like through a different environment. McDonald's was exactly that for me. It was just like the perfect, like if I just kept under the wing of my parents, I'd just be sheltered, like too sheltered. But Macca's just forces you to experience those perfect lessons just outside of where you should. But some parents, I just can't get over that. It's just like, oh, they don't get enough money. I need to put them somewhere like where they earn more money. It's like, for what? Your kid's 14. He's buying lollies and shit from the shop.
He's not buying
He's racking gum from
Five-finger discount.
Exactly. It's like he doesn't need money.
Like that, but that's my mum never like employed me for like the money. Like she didn't want me to earn, like obviously you want your kid to earn money like from a young age. It's a good start, but it's just like
You're gonna earn money.
You're gonna earn money. Yeah, it's just like if you're working.
Primary focus.
Correct. Yeah, it's just like the monetary thing from McDonald's was nothing. I just was not thinking about that because it was just steadily coming in. It was the freaking the Friday nights.
Oh,
Like just the Friday nights, you and me and Drive, just like presenter drinks or just like runner presenter, getting it done.
it's the grind, man.
Putting
And
out.
it's this like the small things there where it's so different, right? So like we would finish school on a Friday. Everyone in the year, like all my friends that don't have jobs, like, oh, Friday, so keen, weekends here, like keen to go home, relax, hang out with the boys, like whatever they're doing. And I'm like, I'm actually like, I have work, damn, I don't want to go to work, but I'm keen. Once I'm there, I see KE rock up, like the manager, whoever it was, Aiden, Matt, like they hyped up, like, right guys, tonight's a busy night, like we're on, let's get it done.
Let's go, this is the setup.
It's game day. It really is game day. For anyone that like hasn't experienced it, it's honestly like you're a team and like the opposition's coming and it's like, right, let's win this day.
Dude. And like to have that from such a young age was just so beneficial, like working as a team and just like developing relationships with people and the path they put you on is just like so good. And like we can speak to it now, being there for like we both recently just left, but just like taking it through to like being a young adult and like being the person who conducts that is just like amazing. Like seeing people like where they could be, like if they like where they are going because they have McDonald's and where they could be if they didn't. And you see people like, we won't like say names, but there's different people who have like, you can tell their friendship groups just aren't the best for them. It's just like, they're such good kids, but like they shouldn't be hanging around those people. But like they work enough shifts at McDonald's that like keeps them in check. It's just like, wow. Like sometimes I would sit there and just be like we're doing so much good for these kids. Like it's actually crazy. And it's hard to quantify in the moment because it's just burgers and shit. But
and from the surface level, it's just like, what do you like?
What the f are you talking
It does not
about?
go that deep, but like
it does.
it does. Like, and it's not about the one shift. It's not about them working 4 hours one shift. It's like a year of those shifts on that day and those relationships. It's just like,
it's the relationships that transcend, right? So in school, like I don't know your guys' experience, but it's very much like year sevens talk to year sevens, year eights talk to year eights. It's like anyone in older is like super duper scary, right? But when you're in Macca's, it's like you have all ages. Like we were 14, there were like 20, 30-year-olds there, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, like all the way down.
All walks of life.
And you're all interacting.
Dude, yes, that's real life as well.
That is
like
real life.
because school's this, and then when you actually are in the working world, in the wild, like you said, it's like you have people from all walks of life.
And that's where it's like, it's so cool. And given like Macca's are pretty much everywhere, it's such a localized thing. So what I found was super awesome as well was like, there's always that like sense of teamship, like red team or blue team, right? So like anytime you're versing another school in sport, it's like, oh, like we're not talking to Forest, like whatever it was. But I'm working at Mac is, oh, like some of my workmates are at Forest, so now like when we go to those sporting days, I'm actually talking to other people.
So true.
I meet their friends, and it's like, oh, we have a common interest. Now we're hanging out. It's like the smallest thing of just putting your kid in an environment where like there's people from just like all different walks of life, surrounding areas, surrounding suburbs, different ages, different years. Like that is only just going to open so many more doors for them.
It just embodies like the perfect amalgamation of like order and chaos, which is what a kid needs, because a kid needs just a bunch of chaos, because like in chaos they're going to learn a lesson, but they need order to keep them in check, because their mind just runs wild, right? Especially going through puberty, you're just a menace, like especially being a dude, you just want to do everything, you know what I mean? Like it's just like there's enough order and just like rule sets, confinement, but enough chaos for you to just like explore. Like you were saying, it's like you're doing a job, so you're like being disciplined, but you're on the line with like a 26-year-old who's just finished their uni degree and you're 14. It's like, literally, like as a kid. And it's just like you're having like productive conversation. So I don't know how to put value on that. Like that's like, that is so valuable.
When you're in that environment as well, it's like you don't think about it. Oh, I'm interacting with this 26-year-old. It's like I'm interacting with my fellow workmate. But like, and it's not said. It's not. No one addresses that. It's just
it is.
It is, which is.
And like the beautiful thing about the fast pace of Macca's as well, you don't have time to think about like, oh, we shouldn't be talking. Like this is weird. It's like, dude, burgers to be made.
Let's get it done.
Let's go. Fries up, buddy.
Fucking 6 and drive. Let's roll.
It's the grind. And it's cool how like, I don't know, like looking back on my Macca's days, like you start to remember like conversations you had with people or like, I guess those role model figures that you had in the workplace. And it's like, damn, like they actually did so much for me. Like, even though we just had conversations, they actually impacted me a lot. And it was beautiful, really. It was a beautiful thing. And I think more kids should just be, it is a beautiful thing. More kids should just be exposed to people of different ages and different areas. And like looking back on your Macca's days now, I guess like you've had a lot of time to reflect, like, what has sort of been the biggest thing you've taken from those days? There's probably a lot, but what are some things?
That's a really good question. Memorizing all the book. No. I think managing people is definitely working with and managing people is definitely the biggest skill I've developed from it. People go, oh yeah, working with like managing people, like can't get better than that. And then it's like, now it's like, I see it, I've seen it and I've lived it. And it's like, I totally agree with that. And like when you talk about managing people, it's like, it's not telling people what to do. It's like, how do I get you on my side while also making you feel comfortable and feel like your output is worth something.
Could not have worded that better. It's like management isn't about telling someone what to do. It's about telling them how they're gonna help you do it. It's like,
100%.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm like getting you on my side to help me do it. Let's do it together. That's the challenge with management, because you're in that position of management because you're good enough and you're the best. So like some people, they get to them. It's like, I'm the best, so my way is the right way. It's like, no, you actually can learn from this kid who's had one shift. They might do it a certain way. You're like, oh, interesting. I'll adopt that.
Yeah, and on that management like mindset and that understanding, like did you have a mentor at Macca's? Like, was there a fellow manager you feel like you grew a lot from?
100, like tenfold. I don't know if I'm allowed to use names.
Go for it.
Freedom, baby. 4th of July.
Freedom, baby.
Definitely Jimmy.
Oh, the man, the myth.
We sort of mentioned the golden ages, you know, like the glory days, like Warriorwood, and Jimmy, Carl, me, just like, you know, VZ was thing of the past. It was on the board, but
he had his in the dining.
It's like there's like Ronald and then VZ. I don't know, and he, like, it's literally day one with James. Like, day one. Like, I was rocked up to Forest Way, first job interview in my life, like, so freaking nervous, just, like, in a little, like, white shirt, like, oh. James, like, he's, like, he's just the most gun-ho freaking like skits dude ever, and he just fucking loves the grind, dude. And like freaking maniac. And like he, you know, sat me down, interview, like got the job, whatever. And then he pissed off to another store, and then he had quit for a bit. So like I was, you know, just doing my thing at Forest Way, getting the hours in, getting some extra cash in, doing my thing after school. And then he came back to Macca's, and then he landed at Forest Way for a few weeks to like be a restaurant manager, so that when the time came, not long after that, he could move into a bigger store and you know, take the reins on that. But he came to Forest Way and like was like, oh shit, like didn't even remember hiring me, but was just like, dude, who is this kid? Like just saw what I was doing and was like, you're gonna be a freaking manager. And like I think at the time I wanted to be a PT, doing a bit of TAFE stuff. You know, like this is jacked Finn stage.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, PT, yeah, I'm eating Macca's every day. I'm so fit, dude. Like, but
Just zizz on the line.
yeah, just like this.
That's how you make burgers with your mind. Just like as you do that, yeah.
And then he, sat me down, management, shipped me to Warriewood, fucking sucked balls at Warriewood. Oh my god,
Dude, I love
This
Like
story.
you,
terrible. I was so bad, dude.
Like,
is that
And-
him being a critic?
or was it
Okay, so
actually-
do I kind of want you to keep going with the Jimmy thing. Maybe we just get back to that.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Like-
yeah, but
I can give my rendition of maybe like us knowing each other. And then
Yeah,
get
okay.
Into that, yeah.
that sounds good. But yeah,
Warriewood.
and to Warriewood, and then
You're terrible.
I was terrible. But like his drive for the grind and like how he manages people is like next level, and I picked up so much from that. And then I think definitely after that, in terms of like mentor, is definitely Kyle, and like someone who's slightly younger than me, like, you know, fresher manager than me, just like clicked, got it, like just knew what to do. So much of my personality, I think, as well, coming out of McDonald's is from Kyle. So it's like,
Dude, that's big. Jesus.
dude, deadly serious. Like I don't know, so off topic, but like you two, I draw a lot of inspiration from in my life. It's like, could sit when I listen to the pod. It's like I'm sitting at a table listening to you guys just like talk about life and your insight and everything. It's like I could soak that up for hours.
Dude,
So it's
I love
this-
you, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
This is the clip.
That's the clip.
But like, yeah, so I don't know. And I'm not trying to be cheesy or anything, but
No,
it's like
no,
that's
dude.
genuinely how I feel every day. And like,
Fuck yeah.
it's just, I don't know. Those two people at McDonald's for me was just like built me into who I am today and took me out of this weird, insecure, like, you know, phase, and then put me into where I am now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, like, by the sounds of it, you probably need to give yourself a bit more credit, because I think, by the sounds of it, it wasn't like a very intentional, like, did you go up to James and say, hey, the way you do things is amazing, just like give me everything, like I want to learn off you? Like, by the sounds of it, it was a very much like you were just aware, like you saw what he was doing, you saw like his ability to manage, and you're like, wow, like I want to be like that. I'm just going to start to like observe him, surround myself with him, and sure enough, like his ability will rub off onto me.
That's, yeah, definitely what it was. And then I think once I'd grown more comfortable and like was transforming a bit more, I definitely started to ask for advice. And
Which is the best way to learn, right?
yeah, 100%.
Like, everyone is so caught up in the ego of like, I want to do it myself,
yeah.
You can do it yourself. It's probably going to take you like 5-6 times as long to get there. Or you could just ask the guy that's gone before you and done it before you, and he's just going to,
top
like,
of his game as well.
on top of his game, and he's going to help you, and you're just going to rapidly get there. And then you will be able to go further quicker.
Yeah, it's smarter. Like why wouldn't you?
It's
ask for
intelligent,
advice?
right?
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
the ego aside, just be smart.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, like our relationship started, I think, when we first met. You'd worked a couple of shifts at Warriewood when I was...
Yeah,
Were you 18?
you were area man, like area leader. or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
so-
yeah. So you would have been 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 18. Is Buzzcut Fet? Oh, Fudge.
Buzzcut Fudge,
Fudge,
which
yeah.
is also in that.
Dude, I love you with a shaved head. Like it needs to come
Dude,
back.
tell that to my freaking missus,
Oh,
dude. 'Cause, like,
shame. Would you do it if she...
Yes.
yes.
Hey, Jess,
Yeah, Jess.
Yeah.
You listening?
Right here.
He's shaving the head.
let the buzz fudge come back.
Buzz fudge.
Alpha Fudge. Anyway, yeah, we probably met a few times like through that, just like in passing or whatnot.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? And then we'd like really properly met, I think, at the Christmas party,
Yeah.
which was what year? 2018. It would have been 2018 because it was
Yeah.
me and Jet,
Yep.
and we just like me and Jet finished school in 2018, and like everyone was on schoolies and shit, and me and Jet were like, no, we're not going on schoolies. We're locking in. Like we're locking in. I want management straight away. I want money. Like let's go.
Wow.
So we locked in for that, and like Christmas party. So we're at the height of just like exposure. Like you're a new manager, you're the next thing. You know what I mean? It's just that vibe.
Yeah.
And like I think us three clicked heavily at the Christmas party. Like to the point of like, okay, how has this not happened before?
Yeah.
And then like you moved to Warriewood a couple of months after that.
It was like March. Yeah,
Okay.
so it would have been 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, 2019 March. So we'd met there, like we'd
Yeah.
like started working together, and I was so hyped for you to work at Warriewood. It's like, yes, I love Finn. He's so eats, and just like there's gonna be Jet, Fudge,
Yeah,
me,
boys.
Dennis, Jimmy. I was like, lads.
And then
Like obviously Dennis and Jet left, so it was you, me, Jimbo, and then just like all females because Henry wasn't a manager at this point.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
And then it was just like, dude, I think our relationship just like grew from just that, just like going through the shitter together, just on shift, and just like for me, like with you, like you were speaking of like James being a mentor for you, and then like you sort of spoke on me, but it's like, it's honest to God, it was like it's a trio that's like if one of them was out of it, it's totally different. Like if you're not in that equation, because like for you, I was very similar to Ash's style. Like when I started manage, like me and Ash like manage very similarly, and she was just like my like role model up until like the end of when she left and did supervisor stuff.
Yeah.
And then me and Jimmy like I was just a shifty, but like me and James like had a good rapport. Like we understand we were both intelligent and could look deeper, but like we were just so, you could not be more parallel. Like we are so different. He is just an absolute, naturally, like probably not now, but like the natural in 2019, just embodiment of just chaos.
Yeah.
He was just he would just run rampant on shift, and he's like, no, just
Yeah.
so authoritative. And like for me, I was a way more relaxed approach, which you are also.
So like,
Which
We-
I took from you, 100%.
I think our natural just like traits linked to that more. I forget the wording. There's different traits in terms of management styles. It's
Yeah,
behavioral approach.
Mm.
And it's just like we're more that, but the goal is always to be in the middle, just the right amount
The
of
balance,
just authority and behavioral like intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe I don't know if I probably can't speak for you, but for me it was just like that's what I learned from Jimbo. Is he
Yeah.
taught me how to be way more hard, and that was like in me. And it seems so like, oh, but you do that now, but it's like I did not do that before James. I was
Wow.
way too soft.
Yeah.
Well, you guys like care about people more. I would like
Yes.
not more than him,
Yeah.
but like just you guys.
Where
You're looking at the job as like, how can I like transform this kid's life, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, I have an objective to do, a job to do, and I'll fulfill that duty. But like we would have conversations all the time, and like you're telling me about kids at work and
Yeah.
just like the things they're going through, and you're like, man, like I want to help this kid. I
Yeah.
want to transform him, and it's like, how do I do that? So I almost feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like a primary objective in your mind was like helping people, and then also like getting the job done. And James sort of like brought that.
Yes, well, I actually will correct you because I feel like initially it was very like Jimmy was just like freaking work, job, result now. And it's like numbers, people are numbers on the floor. That's what I got from him. Like if I'm honest, I got that from him. And then from me, I was just like too soft. It was like I didn't care about the numbers enough. Like natural just talent and like work ethic put the numbers in front of like, but I could do better. And like he taught me that I could do better with those things and also keep that. And to be fair, like I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like from us, maybe we rubbed off on him that behavioral side. And he has told me that a bunch of times. It's like
there you go.
the behavioral stuff is what he's taken, but I've taken so much in terms of like we are now aligned in that like caring for people and like wanting people to do well. He has like just leveled up in terms of his like he wants the results, but like he gives so many shits about like how well you're gonna do, and he wants to develop you.
Yeah.
And like to see him do that is just like insane. But yeah, like from you, man, what I gained from you is just like that humbleness. Like you kept me in check with that, just like humble. It's like I could do, like I would be like, oh, I'm fucking pumping this out. I'm like top of the shifties. Like I'm just
Pumping everyone.
Dude, I'm so
And I'd
good.
be like,
like, and then like I saw you as just like a struggling manager because you came from Forest Way. Futch got dealt the worst hand.
he never.
And that's
admitted-
what he'll freaking say that.
Dude, he
and
got dealt the worst
he's
hand.
like, oh yeah, dude, but like the situation, I'm like,
No.
no, I was just shit.
No, yeah, but like it's both, but it's more so like the hand, and that's what I took from you is like you got dealt the shittest hand, and then like
Anyone
What
else
is the
would-
hand?
dude, the hand is Futch being like an introverted like person, Jimmy being like he has talent, putting him into management as an introvert, which is like that's scary. So you need to take command of like a bunch of people, and I'm an introvert, but I just work hard. Then going, oh, do the order as well. It's like getting handed a system, then learn to run a shift, then learn to run a shift in a draft. Like you couldn't even shift manage at this point.
I couldn't do.
Dude, and think to now, they would never do that. They would never do that. They would never make that move. So it's like you got dealt one of the worst hands. It was like,
You
Just
honestly-
thrown into the deep end.
Yes, and like he got
Sink
thrown
or
into-
swim.
correct. And he swum.
I
And-
suck at the start, dude.
And you were on the edge. Like,
Oh, dude, 100%. I wanted to quit.
I was
yeah,
like,
you were thinking about like leaving.
literally,
I was looking at jobs.
Yeah, which I didn't know about.
like,
What
I was
stopped
like,
you?
like,
Why didn't you?
COVID.
Wow.
What a blessing.
Mm.
And James will say the same thing. He'll say, I think like that was the level up moment, the pivotal moment for me. And like, it was like,
Dude, chills for you. Go on. Yeah.
but like it was so eats. Like COVID obviously wasn't eats, but the whole like how we ran the business during those 2 years pretty much was nuts. Like,
Dude, I actually like, it brings me like,
dude, I'm getting so many good memories from this.
You, like, there was a point in which I used to tell people and just be like,
holy fucking shit, strap the fuck on to the Futch rocket because he's going. Something clicked for you and you're like, oh no, I actually get it. And you were visibly like, no, I get it. Like you got it. And you just started like, you just mixed it all together and you started running just these goated shifts.
It was nuts.
Goated. And I'd be like, oh, he's a savage. And then you started like really nailing the order and it's just like, you just kept going. And then there was the point where it's like, Finn's the next thing and people didn't think it. Like the big wigs would like not think about it. They'd be like someone else. And me and Jimmy were like, no. This is when I was like more forming into that ARM. I was like, no, Finn is it. Like there's this one like couple of months and it was so easy. And then you took the roster on and then you just like, fucking, that's when it went. That was like the,
But dude, I got taken off the order.
yes,
Oh shit!
that's
yeah.
right.
that's right.
How did that make you feel?
To be honest,
Relieved in a sense?
I reckon that's probably it. I was just like, I wasn't surprised, and I was fucking struggling. But like, I didn't really do anything to make myself better.
Yeah, did you ask for help?
No.
No.
And like then, so I think I got taken off it, and then COVID came around, and then that was the whole like. It was just like something about just for being able to run the drive-through and like work with that as a challenge as opposed to like I don't know, the front counter as well was like how, and I think because I'd been there for a while as well, it was also like on the slide up, but then that just allowed me to like perform and show I can perform, but like I wasn't I think without the order as well, I had less to worry about. And this is like, sorry, I'm remembering now, this is like definitely where it came into play. It's like I got taken off the order. I was like, I need to do more for myself because I'm lost. And so like I dropped down a day. I went 4 days a week instead of 5.
That's right. Yeah.
Started doing a bit of like HR and TAFE just to mix it up, like a year course online. You know, like here's the resources, assignments, do it in your own time. You're accountable for it. Great. 4 days a week, COVID. So like whatever, like you couldn't leave the house anywhere. Come in, like, because I'd been taken off the order, it was like I didn't have other things to worry about. So it's like, I'm just going to come in for myself and do my thing, leave. and this links back to having a strong sense of self, and like when I trying to link this all together because it makes sense in my mind.
Yeah.
But like when I started working for myself and having a stronger sense of self, it's like I became less introverted, was able to interact with people easier, and then so from that, like coming out of high school, changing from I don't know Ziz Finn to where I am now, it's like do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You started doing it.
Just started doing it for myself, and like focusing on myself.
You
and
weren't
then
just there. Like you're actually like,
change.
oh no, there is like a reason why I'm here. Like, I'm trying to do it for a deeper reason than like getting, like you weren't doing it for the 80% on the board. Like, you were just like, I'm doing it because I know what 80% means.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yes. And like I think when I developed that stronger sense of self, and then I was also more energy in my week because I was only doing 4 days a week as well. Like it helped manage it. And then when I picked back up to 5, during that period I'd been offered then assistant restaurant manager. So like, and I wasn't even going gun ho for anything in particular. It was like I was literally just in my lane, focusing on myself, soaking up what I can, loving working with the people around me, and then from that I got handed more opportunity back.
That's when the best things happen, right? Like you're in the pool, swimming a race. If you're focused on your stroke, your breath, your technique, staying in your lane, like that is when you're going to perform your absolute best. If you're in the pool, you're swimming and like you're looking at someone next to you, you know, you're like not focusing on your breath, you're not focusing on your stroke, your technique. Ultimately, you're just going to be slower and slower and slower, and like you're going to start to sink. And I think like you were experiencing that for a while, and it's kind of cool how like so many blessings came out of COVID for you.
Yeah.
Like, as you said, you were thinking about leaving. You probably would have left had COVID not have been a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's two timelines there. It's like the Finn that has all those fears and those anxieties because he's doing bad and feels bad about himself, for himself. And then he goes and gets another job that's like less stressful and easier. Like that introvert Finn just grows stronger and stronger and stronger. But like, because you were forced in that water, like no rescue boat was coming. It was like, oh, I'm actually going to drown here. Like, I don't want to drown. I'm going to figure out how to swim. And you were quite practical by the sounds of it, of dropping down to 4 days, like doing a TAFE course, like just trying different things, figuring it out. And then that's when you said like you started focusing on your own lane, your own race, and like you learn how to swim. You learn how to swim.
Which,
And look at you now.
Pumping, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking god. I'm a fucking best, dude.
I'm the best.
This is my podcast.
It's
The fucking one guy, one car.
Thanks for coming on, boys. Yeah, dude. Like just seeing you, like even just then, it's like I swear to God, it just makes me like not teary, but just like holy shit to see where you like came from, and like honestly, I feel like I just had a front row seat. Because like we just interacted so, like we were just so close that it was just like I just saw everything happen and everything unfold, and just to see you go from just like and knowing what you could have been, like you know how there's so many people you meet and you're like knowing what they could be, but they just never fulfill that potential. Like you're one of the examples where like I've seen someone like knowing what they could have been and you actually fulfilled it. It was like that was like inspiring as shit. Like just to see you go, and like for me it was just like I'd done it at Warriewood, like management and stuff. That's in my DNA. Like I'm a people person. I will like.
You got it.
I have energy. That's not by like I haven't earned that. That's just like how I was. That's how I am.
Frogged like many other people in line to be assistant restaurant manager at the biggest store in the organization. Which is like what the hell?
Again, it's not luck, of course, but it's just like it's just natural attributes. Like I didn't fully. This is what I take from you is like you worked to get. Just like the ARM position, like you had to work for that, like big time. Because of like the hand you got dealt. It's like I just went like the natural progression. Just like
That though, you have to give yourself credit because like
that's what I was trying to say. Like,
you
it's
kept
not
your
luck.
job, like you chose to continue to work at Macca's. You chose to work hard. Like you put in effort. Like whilst naturally you're just a people person, but like had you not have done the job, like had you not have showed up and worked on that shift that you didn't want to work at, like you wouldn't be where you are.
I'm just saying like that's what I was trying to say. It's like it's definitely not luck. Like of course like there was work ethic involved and like
100%.
I'm planning moves out in my head, of course. And like there's work in that and I put my all into it. Yes. But like seeing you like come from like a situation that wasn't as ideal, and like to go to where you were at ARM was just so so good to
dude.
see. I
Love
freaking
it.
love it.
I would like to like talk about you leaving Macca's now. There's like a lot of, anytime you like leave something in life, I guess like a job, a sporting team, whatever it is, like there's like the period where you can leave too early, you can leave like right timing, or you can leave a little late. And it's like, for me, leaving late is where like you've like ridden that bus till the wheels have fallen off, and like you're just not there. You're not there. You're not putting out as much as like what you have been and what you could do. I think leaving early is where it's like, oh, you know, like you're still in it and it's like scary. You don't want to leave yet. It's comfortable. And then leaving at the right time is like, what is the right time, right?
Yeah.
So like for you, what was that experience like leaving? Like what were your feelings associated with it? Why did you want to leave? And just break that whole scene down for us, I guess.
I think like, yeah, I don't know.
Just speak about the opportunity.
Yeah, I think it was coming up for a while. Not like a while, but it definitely started to show itself more as I looked into the future. There wasn't like a pivotal moment or like one person, because I'd moved stores as well. So like the glory days where we had the trio, so good. And then like I'd move stores like to progress, obviously, like in
It's
further,
a good thing.
yeah, further my career, which was fucking awesome. Like that was what I worked without actually working to get that. I worked to get that, and then I got that. Moved stores, progressed. And then like, yeah, it wasn't like I was ticked off with the business or one person or anything like that. It was just like I was looking into my life and like where I'm headed. Like I've been with my partner for a long time, you know, like it's gonna be things going on there
Yeah.
at some point.
That's moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like obviously you can relate to that. But
Yeah, with us. With us too. Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I knew I needed something different. I needed more routine in my life, and like I love the grind, and like I fell in love with like the dirty hours and the you know, finish your freaking 10-hour shift and your shirt's half untucked.
Dude, it's the freaking, I've just clocked like more than 10 hours. I'm mopping the floors on a Saturday night. I've sent everyone home, and like everyone's out having fun. It's like a Friday. It's like, and you're like, why am I here? That's what you fall in love with.
Yeah,
Sorry, we're going.
literally. You gotta think like we're born different or something like that. Eh?
Yeah, you just
like
start-
just never. There was times where that never fazed me.
Yeah.
Think of fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, get this bread, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, the bakery's like it's limited batches, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you miss the bread,
Yeah.
sorry about it.
And I'm not going hungry.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. You get
Fucking
that bread.
carb loading, dude. Yeah, but I just knew like, I knew the time was going to come.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
It's just like, and I'd accepted that it's gonna come, but yeah, and then like the opportunity came up. My mate just sort of mentioned it in passing, and I was like, that sounds pretty
I'm
cool.
sorry for your loss. Get out.
No, but yeah, and then the boss at this new job was like, you know, if he's keen for an interview, get him in.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday routine. Like I was genuinely thinking about it. Like if I have kids, this job's perfect for me. I can work from home if I need. The hours are always the same.
Yeah.
There's new challenges and new, completely different sort of work to what I'm used to, which I can soak up and challenge
Just more
myself.
knowledge, more
Yeah.
experience.
Exactly. So like, there wasn't like a particular moment, but it was like I knew it was coming, and then when the opportunity came, I had to jump on it.
That's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I think it's so healthy as well to like throw yourself to the bottom of the ladder again. Like having built your way up in Macca's, like that being your first job, as you said, like getting yourself to like basically the tippy top of the ladder, and like being up there for a while. like that can start to change like who you are and how you behave, and like you're a very humble person, like just straight, like it's the truth. But in senses, like it can change like how you look at yourself. So if you to go into this new job, and we spoke about it a little bit, but like you're right at the bottom, like bottom, like you're learning these new skills,
like how to use Excel. You said like that was something like you didn't do.
I've never used that in my life.
Might have used it in school a little bit. I'm the same. Like I haven't used it since. And now it's like a crucial part of your job. Like you're always using it.
It's literally my bread and butter.
Literally. So it's it's the fear, right? And it's like everyone at your job now can like knows Excel like the back of their hand, right? So they're all like able to do this, use this program, and then focus on the job. But you're like struggling to use the program, which makes doing the job even harder. So it's so good to like just humble yourself again, like time and time again, and be at the bottom. And I was talking to you on the train last night because like you said, you were feeling a bit overwhelmed with the idea of like there's just so much to know and so much to learn. And I was like, dude, think back to when you first were like out back in Macca's, and like everyone that started out back working in Macca's has said to themselves, how the hell am I going to remember all of these burgers? How am I going to like remember how to make them all? And it's like, it's reps. That's how you do it. Once you've made 200 cheeseburgers and like 200 of every burger, you know it. Like you can make it with your eyes closed. And it's going to be the same thing for you now. It's just put in the reps, dude. Don't get caught up in like learning it. It's just show up 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Dude, you will get it done.
Show that I'm keen, hungry, like, and then just power through.
Just attitude, ultimately.
Definitely.
Just prove your attitude.
And the hunger's there. I find being at the bottom, you're more hungry. Like, I find when I'm at the bottom, dude, I want to climb so bad.
You're at your best.
And when you get to the top, it's like the Goggins thing, like being like uncommon amongst uncommon men, like being uncommon amongst the common. And like, I'm not like, there's no ego in this, but in certain areas of everyone's life, I think they're uncommon amongst common, like, because like we're all good at something, right?
Find a niche.
Exactly. So when you are uncommon amongst the common, you sort of ease off a bit. You're like, oh, it's all good. I'm ahead of the pack. Like I'm the guy. But then once you like get into the uncommon, it's like, oh my goodness, this is so hard.
This is so hard.
Well, it's like
that's where the hunger is.
It's when it
100%.
becomes your identity, being uncommon amongst common people. I feel it's like when that becomes who you are, it's like you're at the top of the pile, like, and that's who you are, not where you're at. It's like that's when it starts to get rough. I definitely like had that at the back end of the Macca's gig. It's just like when people come to you all the time for like asking you something, it's like you can't help but that being who you are. It's like
You feel like you're the guy.
Yeah, and changing that, like even now, like us doing like embarking on this sort of adventure, it's just so good for me. Like I just know it's just so good.
Because we're at the bottom of the pile.
What's sick though is like we're all us three are like all in that state at the moment. We're all at the bottom of the pile,
True that.
which is so fun. It's just like,
Yeah, and like it just speaks as well, I think, to who we are. Like, not to chat us up or anything like that, but it's like we could be like, oh my god, like don't know what I'm doing, like this is really hard, but like we're all just fucking
hungry.
Yeah, we just want it.
predators, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We love it.
Yeah,
We love it.
100%.
Another thing as well, like, and not to just suck you off here.
But you can.
Yeah.
But I can.
Well, that's often.
And then compliment.
Shout out, Jaden.
Yeah. Woo! You're the happiest and like most content and just humble dude I like honestly think I know.
Shut up.
Like
Don't oppose that. We did this beautiful thing at Empower You. Okay, I don't even know if I'm. Oh yeah, sure, I can say it. Like, just because like it's very secretive. Anyway, we did this process where essentially like you stand opposite someone like that you're in a group with for 2 days, and then you like have 30 seconds or so to just say what you love about them, and the other person can't say a thing. They can't say thank you. They can't give it back to you. They just have to take it. And like you like just take that. Like you are so happy. Like you just like what's the secret, but like why do you think you just have this cool outlook on life, like this unique outlook? Like you don't complain about anything.
It's sense of self.
Right.
And like I think it just everything I look at now is like if I'd just been true to myself and authentic like you guys really push, it's like I could have found myself earlier, but anyway, I found myself now. It's like that's sense of self is the bread and butter to that. I think it's the key.
that like you saying that is like the sense of self, like what comes out for me and what you're saying with Futch, I totally agree with that. But I think it's like your open-mindedness to shit is like crazy. And like to things that like, we can also, we're open-minded to like, but maybe we're open-minded to ideas. Maybe we're open-minded to people, but it's like, you're open-minded to the point where like, you initially might not like something, but you're actually still willing to just be like open-minded to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I never see you like inherently pissed off at something. It's just like, you're just pissed off because of like reason. Like you actually like, all of us, oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze. All of us like get annoyed at certain shit, but like for no reason. Like you always have a reason to be annoyed at stuff because you've like tried and tested it. Okay, now I can be annoyed at it. Like it's like, you always see it's like when you're like the type of person who always sees the good in people.
Always.
You do you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate that.
The sense of self's beautiful because, like last night at that show, we were at a concert, Scatterlight, who we had on the pod a few weeks ago.
Finn's
repping the merch, yeah.
Beautiful.
Great fucking band.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, go check them out live
Yeah.
for sure. But last night, like we were all like Kyle and I hadn't drunk. You had like 2 drinks, so like literally you're sober,
Yeah.
and your ability to move on the dance floor. Like we're just surrounded by a bunch of people that we don't know, and it's like that simple thing of just dancing in front of people.
Yeah.
For sober, so many people can't do that. Like that scares the absolute crap out of them. Like that thought is so foreign to them. But you have your sense of self. You know your why. You're not trying to fit in. You're not on that dance floor to find a girl. You're not on that dance floor to like get people to like you. You're on the dance floor for yourself to have fun and like get a boogie on. And you're there with your friends. You're there with us. So like it makes it like even more enjoyable. And like it truly is a beautiful thing to be able to dance and just have no worries about what anyone thinks.
Dude, I had the funnest night last night.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I was loving the boogie. And it's like everyone, like that's what you should be striving for. If you want a goal of like, if you're someone that is anxious and like cares what people think you, like try to get to a point where you can dance around like strangers and just not care. Not care what anyone thinks. Because when you can do that, it's like, because movement of the body is so authentic. It's such an expression of self. Like I'm not thinking about the dance moves. I'm just moving my body to the music. So it's like, it's authentic. It's genuine to me. And when you can do that, like genuinely, when you're not trying to like mimic someone else or copy some moves you saw of someone to try and fit in, be like the cool guy, like that's when you're winning.
Yeah.
That is when you're winning.
So AIDS. Yeah.
And yeah, dude, you move your hips well.
Yeah, you did.
You're so a good dancer.
Yeah.
William.
Got him.
Yeah, dude. And like, I think from something I learned from you all the time is just like that. Because for me, it was just like, I went through school, like left school, uni, Maccas, go. And then now, just like for me, it's like, I know for me on this like new journey, it's like, yes, we have it together. But for me personally, like, I have to work on my individuality. It's like trying to develop me, like, who am I type thing. And that sense of self. And yes, we need to take a lesson from other people, but like, I definitely, the way I want to do that is how you do it. And I actually noticed that over the last, like, definitely last night as well. It's like, shit, the way Finn just like carries himself as an individual, that's what I need to be striving more for.
And, like,
Dude,
taking lesson
I
out of
literally
that.
look at you guys like I feel like my like who I am is like a model of like
Yeah, but
Dude,
I think
it
that's
goes
how-
both ways.
no, that's what I'm saying. I think that's just how it works though. Because I think the same about you.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's
like, and you.
roll it in. Yeah.
Roll it in.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's how it works, and that probably speaks to just having like a good circle around you. You know what I mean? It's like always learning from the people around you and being like, oh, they're, you know, like putting them on a pedestal, but it's like they also put you on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So isn't that just like so?
And it's like, do they make you smile? Like when you're like, oh, I'm seeing Finn Hutch tonight. Are you excited? Are you happy? Like yesterday when I was like, oh, I'm seeing Finn, dude, smile on my face. I'm just happy. I'm genuinely
dude, moisture in my freaking trousers.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was insane.
Change jocks like 3 times whilst waiting to go. Yeah, that's what you tell yourself.
Dude, but like that's what you were saying. Like it sounds selfish. I think you literally just said this, but like, you wouldn't hang out with us if like it didn't benefit you.
Yes, when we're sitting down before.
Yeah, you said
Definitely. Like,
True.
the reason I'm hanging out with you guys is because, like, you guys give something to me and, like, vice versa. Like, I hopefully give something to you.
Yes.
And it's not to say that, like, I'm only ever around people that I get something from. Like, I will help. Like, I'll do things for people that I don't necessarily want to do. I'll talk to people I don't want to really talk to.
Yeah.
Like, to be nice or to help them out or whatever it is. But like in a way, I'm still getting something from them. But
Yeah.
it's more like the people I surround myself with often on a regular
Yes.
occurrence. Like when I hang out with you guys, like 4, 5, 6, 7, like I don't know, X amount of times a week. That's when it's like I'm hanging out with you guys because I get something from you guys.
Mm.
It's like that, and it's beautiful when that transaction goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, dude. The transaction. It's literally a two-way street. And you mentioned that last night. How like we were talking to Ollie and James about that. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
two-way street. They're like, it's dude, James, he's
I love
so
him.
much energy, and he's just like, he's like,
Thanks so much.
he's like, actually, thank you guys so much. Like he's just so eats.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like you guys, that's what it's all about. It's like you guys being here. It's like that just like gives us that energy. And then
Thanks for coming.
Josh saying that exact theory is like, dude, like to be honest, like I'm here for my own reasons because I want to
Yeah,
see you.
yeah.
And then you're like two-way street, and he's like, two-way street.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
good.
I didn't go to the band like for them. I went for myself because like
Yeah.
they're awesome guys. Like I love live music. All my friends were going. Why would I not want to go? Like I want to have that experience, and it's like,
That's what
oh,
we're supposed to do.
and we're also helping them, and like they're also helping us. It's like, dude, that transaction.
That
what
feels
you're chasing.
that feels so right. Making transactions with people, like bartering with people in terms of like I have this, like you were saying, like at the top of the hill or the top of the food chain on like everyone is like the top of the food chain at something.
Somewhere, yeah.
It's like using that to barter with other people and like getting more from them. It's just like so good, so valuable. You can't put anything on that. It's just like dropping the ego and being like, they know more about me about this.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm.
Now, bit of a, I don't know if you have a response to this, but what is something you want to get better at in your life? Like, what's something you're struggling with right now in this walk of life? Like, outside of the technical skills of the job.
I was gonna say using Excel.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It can be in anything, emotional, just like making toast.
Like whatever.
Just life.
Yeah, just life. What are you struggling with?
I should make a mean piece of toast.
Setting 4.
I think I struggle at keeping my freaking room clean.
Wow.
Why?
Well, like it's my room now as well because I've technically moved in with my girlfriend, so I've sort of forced that living between the two households. But like I think as a collective, it's like, or just me, it's like I get so fed up with the room being messy, but then it's like I don't do anything to like make it better. And like it's just like work, train when I can. Clocked 0 kilometers this week. Fuck.
I love that. How you mentioned
Keeps
Finn.
me accountable.
We were walking home like last night
Got my weekly volume on it, dude.
after a fat chicken burger, just like 2 a.m. And then Finn's just like, oh, dude, you know the thing I love about this watch? Like, as we're seeing gluttony, he's like, tells me I total K's on my watch, and he just shows me, oh, how many do you clock?
And it's just it's 0. But anyway, sorry, you're rude.
Fucking L, dude. Nah, yeah, and I think like that, I don't know, yeah, like I could put more, and keeping my freaking car clean, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like people be like, oh, everyone does that. Like, yeah, maybe, but like, no, like my car is so shit and messy and like miserable, and just like, I could put more effort into like just tightening those little areas of my life that like make my life easier. Because when your room's clean, like Carl,
good.
yeah, oath. Like Carl
Oh, dude.
prides himself in having
room.
an ergonomic room, whatever the frick that means, or whatever.
Yeah, like right now, my car, like right now, there's nothing in it. No, it's filthy.
The studio,
Like,
dude, I love it.
no, like the seat's dirty, like it needs a vac ASAP. But like, well, that's not mine to be fair. No, like, but yeah, everyone has their like own thing that they're like you said, like that they're good at and they pride themselves on or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's cool. And because we spoke yesterday on like becoming a now versus a when person, like the difference between that, how like in different walks of life we're all when people, and like other walks of life like we're now people. Like you're definitely a now guy. Like for the most part we're now guys. So like after this, like when are you cleaning your room? Like I want you to give me an answer. Like put a deadline on it. When are you gonna clean your room?
Jesus, dude, you sound like my freaking mum.
Like, why are you thinking about
I reckon. Well, like, I'm just thinking like what I have on. And I'm thinking like it's got to be like it doesn't have to be, but this is why I don't get it done because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a weekend thing. I gotta have a whole day to do it. I don't like.
Because you said you have nowhere to be till 5:30, right?
Shame that you remember that. Oh, I'm actually really busy. No, doing this podcast. These
Yeah, I got
guys.
another one after
Yeah.
that.
Joe Rogan. You know. No, probably not next weekend, but the weekend after. I want to
Damn.
lock and load on going hard on.
Unfortunately, you're a when person, but
The only thing I'll say is like change, like frame that differently. Not probably, like definitely. Like say it.
I'm definitely going to clean my room, not next weekend, but the weekend off.
Okay, good.
In
Hold-
2 weeks, I will clean my room.
In 2 weeks, I'll clean my room.
Hold yourself to that.
8.
Good man. I like that.
Nice.
Because it's like that shifting from a when. Like, had we not have had that conversation just then, guarantee you within 2 weeks it wouldn't have been done.
Like, would you?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Right.
I would have. Yeah, it would have been another excuse.
100%.
And like, you know, like my partner and I have the same schedule now, so like realistically, should be even easier, right? If
Yeah,
we want to
true.
collaborate on
Yeah,
cleaning the
yeah,
room. So it's
definitely.
like, but still, like in my mind, it's like I still have to say probably or when or.
But now
like-
it's definitely.
But now it's I'm cleaning my room.
Now it's getting done.
first thing you do once we stop this is text Jess and be like, we're cleaning the room on this
Do
day.
it right now.
Yeah.
Dude, don't interrupt the pod, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that because that'd be disrespectful though. Wouldn't you?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like, is there anything you want to talk on? Like, is there any message you want to give? Any words of wisdom? Even though you wouldn't sell them as wisdom, just anything that you're valuing right now.
I think I've, like, when you said you want to come on the pod, I think everything I've said already is everything I want to get across. Is like that a lot of your character, and like I found in myself, is like just a lot of your success in life is having a strong sense of self. There's so many good things that come from that, and things that like you're not exactly wanting, but like they'll come. Like these good things, just like because you attract it.
Stay in your lane, right?
Exactly. And like when you have a strong sense of self, you just attract good things. And besides that, it was just like you guys, to me, are like two individuals who I draw a lot of inspiration from. And yeah.
I like genuinely love you both so
Yeah.
much.
I love you.
I'm so grateful for you guys in my life.
Fuck yeah. I love this. Like, and people talk about brotherhood and like how like some people don't actually have brothers. It's like you don't have a brother, but it's like a
Yeah,
blood brother.
biological
You
brother.
don't have a blood brother, but it's like, I think it's like, I don't know if this is a female thing too, but as a male, I feel this like this need to find other brothers. Like, and like now that I have so many.
I love when you said like you want to just go out and dance because like, and like, you know, you're not like, it's not like you're on anything. It's literally just on life. Like I just love the feeling of moving my body.
Dude, I had a life hangover today. Proper. I woke up so tired and just like hammered.
Just like
Dude, I had like 8 lives last night.
standard life.
Standard lives.
No, but proper. Like I literally, we got home at 2. Yes, that factors in, but like I was dehydrated, dry
Yeah.
lips, everything, and then I was like
Yeah.
to Siege, I roll. I was like, do you feel like hungover? She's like, I feel sick, and I was like, I had like half a drink last night. What? That's just like striving for those types of moments. Like
Yeah.
go and get high on life.
Mm.
Maybe that's the challenge.
Definitely like taking time to adjust to like I need to optimize like for myself how like my work is now. I need to like self-optimize, like whether it's like organizing my emails so that it's like easy to see and stay on top of shit. Maybe that feeds into like me not staying on top of cleaning my room. I don't know. How about challenge is you just clean your freaking room.
Dude, that is a beautiful challenge.
Done. I need that. My room's filthy at the moment.
Dude, I want you to tell me then. I want you to look me in the eyes and say, give me a date. When are you going to clean your room?
Yeah, done. All right. Where are we? Today's Saturday. Probably won't have time today. Tomorrow's Sunday. I guarantee you, Finn Hutchison, I will clean my room tomorrow morning before 8:30 a.m.
Eats.
guaranteed,
challenge.
locked in. That is my challenge. Well, that's your challenge to me
Yeah.
and anyone listening.
Yeah.
Just clean your room. I love that. It's so simple. And no matter how clean your room is, there is still a speck of dust that you could clean.
Your bed's not made, which is overrated. But I think. Do you think making your bed's overrated?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's okay. Like,
Mr. Ergonomics.
no, I rate it. I
really
rate it. It's
beneficial.
clean. It is clean.
It's nice. Yeah, it adds to the
Frame.
No, it's dude.
Yeah.
It's the mindset shift.
Yeah.
It's like,
Everything.
what's the first thing you did in the morning? Did you get out of bed, look at your bed and go, nah? Or did you get out of bed, look at your bed and go, I need to make that. I need to put that in order.
I love that.
Because it's like, if you're putting something in order as your first thing, it's like, that's just going to translate throughout the day. It's just going to do that. Like, you cannot deny that. It's just going to work like that.
Yeah, when you kick off your day on a high like that with like a little win, then like the rest of your day.
But like for me, I honestly don't make my bed like every day. Like, no way. No way. Like 50% of times I've made my bed.
Yeah, I'm less than that, dude.
wow.
I'm like,
You're
Yeah.
already beating me.
yeah, and it is.
I think people are so stuck in the mindset, or like a lot of people believe in the like win the morning, win the day, or if you do that one bad thing, like it ruins your whole day. Like in the morning, for me, what it is, it's again, I say this so often, but movement creates momentum. It's you make that like Jocko Willink says, the snooze
Yeah.
button is the dream killer.
It
I
is.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So eats.
Like yeah,
true.
on the other side of the pillow, like that's where everything is, dude. Getting up, getting out of bed, that's where it's all about. So it's you make that one bad decision, boom, you've already started the movement in the wrong direction, and that's creating momentum. Like that's what it is for me. You can turn your day around at any point you like, but once you like are further in it, it's harder to do it. So as you said, dude, get up. Everyone has had that thought. Should I do it? Am I going to make my bed or am I not?
Just do it.
And it's like, just do it. Just do it. It's a great slogan for something. Don't know what, but just do it.
Nice.
It is.
I love that, boys. Fucking smooth
Yeah.
challenges.
Thank you, Finn Hotch.
Thank you,
I love
brother.
you, man.
Love
I
you
love
too.
you. I love
you
Finn
too.
Hutchison.
Yes. There it is.
Dude, don't make it weird. I've said it, alright? I've said it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for more chats like this because it's like just to break down like where we're at and just keep going because it's like yes, it's been recorded, but it's so freaking therapeutic.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like I could be doing so much other shit in my time, but I'm here just working on myself and others, making transactions, baby.
And what I love as well is like you're probably the first guest we've had on that we actually hang out with often.
Correct.
Like all the other guests now, like trying to think back.
No.
Yeah, like as in us three hanging out is very common, but everyone else, like for us three to hang out, is just doesn't really, it has never really happened. So what I love is how genuine this conversation is. Like this is like a conversation we would have like all the time. Definitely a bit more comedy and like way more like
Inappropriate.
niche
Yeah,
niche related humor, like just humor
Inside
that we
jokes.
know.
Yeah.
And names and people
Yeah,
that like
exactly.
only we know. It's
But like the basis of the conversation, the exact same, and I
Yes.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that like this is the circle. And I'm just keen to like come back in 6 months, a year, and you're a wizard at Excel. Like I'm keen for that. Just
Just
keen
breaking it
for the
down, yeah.
progression.
Dude.
and I have a clean freaking room, dude.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
I've said it now, and it's recorded, so I have to commit to it.
Done. All right.
Signing off.
Yeah.
D1C.
Love you all.
Yeah, love you all.
And-
I love you, listener. One
Yeah.
listener who's
I love you.
Whoever's listening, I genuinely love you. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time on the 2G1C podcast. Bye.